Welcome back, fellow investors. In this video, I'm going to go in a different direction. I usually do videos around stocks, and that's 95% of my channel is stocks, but I wanted to cover my crypto investments. And let me begin by saying that I'm two things. My point of view, take this into account. First, I'm more of a traditional investor. I am a student of Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch, those old school investors. That type of investing philosophy is in my head. I'm also a person who's worked in technology for 30 years. More recently, I work on artificial intelligence projects for businesses, and I help businesses completely transform their systems and operations, moving them to a completely digital cloud-based format. That experience has taught me that digital currencies, what cryptocurrencies are about, make a lot of sense for all the systems, all the websites, everything we do online. It makes a lot of sense to me. Therefore, for years, I've been learning about Bitcoin, about Ether, about cryptocurrencies so that I'm informed. I've been investing in cryptocurrencies for 3+ years. It's not a major part of my investments because it's just so new. It's risky. But this year, my cryptocurrency investments have outperformed all my other investments by substantial margins. And I'll get into that later. So I wanted to share with you my point of view on crypto, my investments, and how I go about it. I would share with you that there's a risk. There's a couple risk factors. One is there's a risk that you make an investment and you lose money. We don't want to do that. But there's another risk that's more passive, and that's the risk of completely missing a huge opportunity. And that's the risk I'm not willing to take. I'm trying to get informed on cryptocurrencies. I'm trying to make enough investments so that if the bus leaves the station with potentially one of the biggest opportunities that I've seen in the last 20 years, I have a seat in the bus and I have a position in the cryptocurrency. I have knowledge I learned so that I can make more investments. And that's my point of view is I'm a traditional investor, but I also have worked with technology long enough to believe that digital currencies and a lot of what's being developed in the crypto space make a lot of sense for really the world that we have today. So let me get into a video showing you like what I'm seeing in the space, the investments I've made, the performance of those investments, and what I'm going to be doing in the month of December leading into 2024. Before I jump into the video, do me a favor and like my video, subscribe to my channel, and I'd love to get comments from you. Everybody has got an opinion on crypto. Some people stay away from it just completely. Would love to hear if that's your position. Or some people are really fascinated by it. Would love to hear your comments on that as well. Every year brings some surprises. Some of the surprises are negative. For example, I can't believe the healthcare sector has been so bad this year. A lot of my investments in healthcare have done really bad. On a positive note, I can't believe how good my crypto investments have done this year. Let's take a look. So the S&P is having a very good year. It's December 3rd, and we have one trading day in the books, and the S&P is up 20%. That's a very good year. We'll take it. It's above the normal. But if you look at the three investments I've made, I own 1.2 Bitcoin, I own a substantial amount of Ether, and I own a position in Coinbase. Let's start with the lowest return. Ether did 4 times as good as the S&P. It's 80.7% appreciation year to date. And I earned 3% staking. So it's actually closer to 84% return on Ether. A great return. Bitcoin is doing great. Bitcoin is up 138.6%, almost 7 times the performance of the S&P. Awesome. And the champion of my portfolio from a percentage gain, and this includes everything, includes Meta, includes all the best picks that I've made this year, is Coinbase. It's up almost 15 times as much as the S&P. This has just been such a winner this year, and it's only going to get better. I'll tell you why in the next few slides as to why Coinbase is really going to benefit from recent events and big market conditions. Now, there's good news and bad news that affect crypto. I was really thinking I should start with bad news to get that out of the way and then go to the good news. But I'll start with the good news since the space is up so much. I think it deserves to lead with good news. And the first bit of good news is that just the space is really catching a lot of attention. I think everybody who said, oh, crypto is just a fad. And again, I think I mentioned previously on many videos, I'm a disciple of Warren Buffett. I think he is awesome. I think he is incredible. But he thinks, I think it was him or Charlie Munger that said crypto is like rat poison, which is kind of funny. A lot of people are naysayers. And I think that's beginning to change because the performance of this space is just eye popping. People are really recognizing, hey, crypto's really taken off and there's nothing that's going to hold it back. Nothing big that's going to hold it back. Second bit of, very good news is that ETFs are going to spring up. A lot of the brokerages want to have ETFs around crypto. That's creating a lot of demand, especially for Bitcoin, which is a very scarce coin, and a lot of demand for Ether. So the ETF is going to do a couple of things to help the crypto space. First, the demand is going to drive up prices. Second, it's going to make, I think, the new investor and maybe the investor who doesn't want to spend a ton of time tracking crypto can easily get into the crypto space and get out. So I think the ETF market is a big, big positive for crypto. And the last bit of news is that there's been a few decisions at the government level that have gone crypto's way, which is very good. It's making it more mainstream, and that's all good for the space. Now let's talk about the bad news that's affecting the crypto space. And the first bit of bad news is the big meltdown of FTX. So a lot of people lost money, and that's never good news. It puts a lot of investors, in fear. And I think it's going to hold a lot of investors back from investing in crypto very quickly. And understanding FTX is, this is a young space. FTX grew way too fast. They were way too optimistic. And when you had the cryptocurrency downturn where coins were devalued, it really created a cash crunch for FTX, and they just couldn't get over it. So the long and the short of it is that it was a very bad thing that happened. A lot of investors lost money. I purposely selected Coinbase as my coin exchange. And the primary reason I did that is Coinbase is publicly traded. They go through much more rigor to put their company on the stock exchange. FTX is privately held, and they could do a lot of things without any oversight. Well, Coinbase once a quarter has to report to all the shareholders, and they have to report to the FTC. So it's to the SEC, excuse me. So Coinbase is a far better brokerage for me for coins, and FTX was never a consideration. The news that Binance, the CEO, was held responsible for fraud also created bad news for crypto. It was a very bad thing. It was found that Binance was doing money laundering, which is very bad. And the CEO, if anything, was aware of it. He wasn't, I believe, directly involved in it, but he knew that such transactions were occurring. So he's forced to resign Binance. He may or may not serve a little jail time. Binance paid $4 billion penalty, and that is substantial bad news. So the space is really young. You got some bad actors, lack of discipline, and I think that will clean itself up. The stock market 100 years ago, it was not what it is today. There was a lot of insider trading. There was a lot of bad actors in the stock market. Over time, it kept getting better and better. And I think the crypto industry is going to follow a similar path of being born, going through its growing pains, and continually maturing so that it's a very good exchange, a very good market with few bad actors. And if there are bad actors, they are found quickly and then taken out of the market. So as a value investor, I'm looking for yield. I'm looking, to buy low, sell high. And one of the things that I've done is track, where prices have been with coins. I've added to my Ether position and my Bitcoin position. I haven't added in a while because it's just on a really, really good run. The way that I can get additional yield is by staking my coins, my Ether coins, and earning a little over 3%. It's like getting a dividend or interest on a bond. And that's what they're referring to with Ether. It's a digital bond. You can buy coins and earn some interest, which is becoming really interesting. And my personal next frontier is liquidity pools. Liquidity pools will enable me to earn some income while putting in my coins into a liquidity pool. So what are my plans in the area of crypto? First with Coinbase. Coinbase is on such an upward trajectory. I'm just holding on and it's been great, but I'm close to, I've more than doubled my money on Coinbase in 2023. And I was buying Coinbase stock in 2023, but now we're on such a tear. I'm just holding on. I'm thinking there's got to be a point where there's a pullback in the stock. When that pullback happens, I may buy. I am buying more Ether coins, and similar to the comment I just made, I'm a buyer in good pullbacks. That's when I buy my coins. I'll be buying both Ether and Bitcoin on pullbacks. A lot of my attention is going to be to learn liquidity pools. Liquidity pools really act as a way for me to earn income, and it's substantial. It's not like you earn, half a percentage point here, half a percentage point there. There's a really good way to earn 5 to 20% return just on income from liquidity pools, and you never relinquish your coins, which is really interesting. So I'm in the learning phase. I have invested, but once I have that space well understood, I'll make a video on it and share with you my experience, my journey as I invest in liquidity pools. Crypto is not for everyone, but I happen to think that we're going to wake up to a world in 20, maybe 25 years from now, and all currencies will be digital. Right now, I think the concept that we have of the US dollar as an example, it is a fiat currency. And what that means is that it was created in a very physical, tangible world where we stamped out coins and printed out bills. And that's still the world we're in. You can still go to a Taco Bell and pay with cash, or go anywhere and pay with cash. Now, the world's becoming more and more digital. For example, when you buy a house, in California, right, the average house is, I don't know, $800,000. You don't walk up with a bag of $800,000. It's been digital for a long time. So the concept of digital currencies is not new. We've been doing it for a long time. The concept of going from the old fiat currency concept and paradigm to a digital currency and paradigm, that's what's very new. Also, the concept of it being decentralized. Bitcoin is not governed by a government. It is a decentralized coin that can be transacted in any country. There might be some countries that make it illegal, but in most countries you can transact it. And it's really a new concept. I'm glad that I've invested. My time has been my biggest investment in learning, about cryptocurrencies. I think it's really interesting. And in 2023, my investment in the investments I showed have just been awesome. So it's been a rewarding financially in 2023. We'll see what 2024 does. I think it's still going to go up. And the reason for it is this space is so new. A lot of new investors are going to enter the space through ETFs. There's more development on cryptocurrencies, using the cryptocurrencies, and we'll see how far it goes. But I think that this is going to be a big space that I'm glad I'm learning about. I hope you found this video interesting. Again, cryptocurrency is not for everyone. And I hope that you found my video, if anything, just entertaining. I appreciate you watching. Please like my video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks again.